welcome back to a new YouTube video. If you don't really know who I am, my name's George, I'm 14 years old and I compete in bodybuilding. In the last 3 years in the gym, I've been taking my training seriously, pushing myself and just trying to grow as much as I can. So today we're going to be going over my workout split at the moment. I've had lots of workout splits like over my time while I've been training. Started off with the push-pull legs, doing that twice a week. So I was started off training 6 days a week, which is quite a lot for somebody starting off. But I started with the push-pull legs, then I moved to a push-pull legs arms, then I went to a bro split, then I went to like this kind of hybrid split for my show from my coach Eddie, and now the split I'm on to at the moment is the split for my off season at the moment, and it has got me so much stronger and I've filled out so much more in these last few months while doing. So that's the split I'm going to be telling you all today. Before I start, this is more of like a power building split. If you don't know what power building is, it's a mix between powerlifting and bodybuilding. It's just designed to get as strong and as big as you can in the time you're doing the split. That's why I'm doing it at the moment. I'm trying to get stronger, which means I can get bigger, and obviously you're getting like the hypertrophy stuff as well as the big compound lifts. So my first day of the plan is bench, squat, deadlift. It's a big day full of compounds. You're starting off with, well, you can actually like play around with the exercises. For me, I wouldn't recommend doing deadlifts before squats. So well, normally what I do is I start with bench. I do 7 sets. The first few are kind of like warming up. Maybe you're doing 2 or 3 warm-ups, and then you've got them 4 or 5 top sets of the bench, going heavier and heavier, doing 15, 12, 10, 8, and then 3 sets of 6 at the end. You're doing that for bench, squatting, and deadlifting. This day is good just because it gets you, doing all the big compound movements, and it's just quite a fun day because you're moving a lot of weight, doing heavy top sets for bench, heavy sets for deadlift and squat. And recently I went for like bench, squat, deadlift PRs, and my strength has gone up like crazy. I went from a 125 bench to a 140 bench. I went from a 160 squat to a 165, and then a 180 a week later, which is absolutely crazy. And I went from a 190 deadlift to a 200, which I'm just still blown away by. So this day is definitely what gets you the strength and the thickness into the training. And then for day 2, we've got shoulders and biceps. This is one of my favourite days of the split. It's more of like a hypertrophy, trying to build on some muscle. So you start off with 5 sets of shoulder press. The first 2 sets of kind of like warm-ups, building the weight up every single set. 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5 sets. Just feels really good. Nice to start with a big compound shoulder press. After that, we're moving on to some lat raises for 5 sets of 10 to 12 reps. The first 1 or 2 reps can be feeler sets as well, just whatever you want to do, however you like to train. So yeah, 10 to 12 reps. And then for me, I like to do rear delts instead, but you can also do upright rows for your traps and rear delts. So you can pick rear delt or upright rows. At the moment I'm doing rear delts, just 5 sets, 10 to 12, exact same as the lat raises, because for me, I think I'm getting a lot of trap work on the deadlifts from the day before, so I just leave the upright rows and I do some rear delts instead to get all 3 parts of the shoulder. After that, we're doing some barbell curls, 5 sets, 10 to 12 reps, same as the last 2 exercises. First 1 or 2 sets of feeler, whatever you need to do to warm up, you do that. And then you've got your 3 or 4 top sets of barbell curls. And then after that, exact same, 5 sets, 10 to 12 reps of alternating dumbbell curls, making sure you're doing the twist, because the twist is the pronating part, and the bicep has 2 functions, to curl and to pronate, because obviously like when you turn your wrist, your bicep contracts, and also when you curl, your bicep contracts as well. So the 2 functions of the bicep. That's why I have 1 for the curling and 1 for the turning, to get the 2 parts of the bicep. And that is day 2. And then for day 3, this is my favourite day of the plan. It is chest and back. You can't go wrong with a nice chest and back session. So for the first exercise, you're doing 5 sets, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6 of incline dumbbell press. For this, I love to go really heavy for them last 2 sets, trying to build up to like the 47.5s or 50s. I've been really tracking my weight and reps on this exercise just because I'm a big fan of trying to get this stronger. And then after that, 5 sets, 10 to 12 of the pec deck. You kind of like start to see the pattern with the exercises. So you kind of do like a big compound pyramid in the weight up, and then you could do some isolation stuff for like 10 to 12 reps just to burn out the muscle. So 5 sets, 10 to 12 reps of the pec deck. Do your warming up if you want to, and then you move on to back. 15, 12, 10, 8, 6 of bent over barbell rows. I also love to build up to a heavy weight on this exercise just because it's so fun. And then for the last exercise for chest and back, we will be doing some lat pull downs, 5 sets, 10 to 12 reps just to fully finish off the back. 10 sets of chest, 10 sets of back. That is the chest and back session done. Obviously you're getting a bit of work from the chest and back sessions in the deadlift and the bench on the SBD day. And then for the last day of the split, we have hamstrings, triceps and calves. It's a bit of a random one, but it definitely does work out well. I've literally just done this session. I've just came home now and I am filming this video. My hamstrings are in absolute agony, so my triceps. So basically this plan is 5 sets of lying leg curls, 10 to 12 reps, 5 sets of lunges, 10 to 12 reps. Then you've got 5 sets of single leg curls, 10 to 12 reps. So you're kind of just getting like smashing the hamstrings, 5 sets of each. My hamstrings are quite a lacking point, that's why I've got so many sets. Obviously you can do your warm-ups as much as you want to on them ones, 1 or 2 warm-ups for each one, maybe even 3 if you struggle to warm up for the first exercise. But yeah, so that is everything for hamstrings. And then we move on to some triceps. We do 5 sets of tricep push downs, 10 to 12 reps, 5 sets of close grip bench, 10 to 12 reps. Obviously same as before, do the warming up that you need to do, and then finishing off with calves, which is 5 sets 10 to 12 reps of standing and 5 sets 10 to 12 reps of seated. So it's all nice and simple session. Everything's 5 sets 10 to 12 reps, can't go wrong. You do your warm-ups that you want to do, but yeah, this is probably the longest session out of all of them just because it's the most amount of exercises. And then once you've done them 4 days, you'll have a rest and then you repeat the full thing over and over. It is a very intense split. It is like struggle to recover. So if that 1 day isn't enough, you can always have another one. But normally I stick to the 4 on 1 off. And yeah, I've made some mega strength increases and like just thickness and size increases as well on this split. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm loving the progress so far, and yeah, we're just going to see how it keeps going. I know this isn't really a normal split, but if you're wanting to get very strong and very big, this is probably the split for you. As I said before, it is quite intense because you're indirectly training muscles 4 times a week nearly, or well 3, because I like to count the 4-day 4-day one off and then 4 days as like a week, even though it is like 9 days in total. So you're training every muscle, like, well, you're training like the chest, back and legs muscles about 3 times a week, which is quite a lot, and then the other stuff 2 times a week. So you know, it is very good though. It gets you big. It's definitely worth a try. Feel free to try it. I've also made a full YouTube videos going over like the full sessions in detail, so make sure you go check out them as well. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.